Malfunctioning hyperdrive motivator. Again, Commander Vira slammed her fist against the ship's console, causing several warning lights to flicker in protest. The small scout vessel drifted helplessly in orbit around the backwater planet designated Sol 3, or as the locals called it with their typical lack of imagination, Earth. Vira checked the atmospheric readings with narrowed eyes. Nitrogen-oxygen mix. Tolerable gravity. Primitive, but not completely uncivilized technology level. At least she wouldn't suffocate the moment she stepped outside her ship, assuming she could land this bucket of bolts without disintegrating upon entry. Computer, run diagnostics on the hyperdrive motivator. Running diagnostics. The ship's AI responded in its perpetually cheerful voice that made Vira want to rip out its vocal processors. Hyperdrive motivator has experienced catastrophic failure. Repairs beyond onboard capabilities. No kidding, Vira muttered, brushing a lock of iridescent blue hair from her face. Tell me something I don't know. The average lifespan of a Terran hamster is approximately 2 to 3 standard Earth years. Vira rolled her eyes. That wasn't a literal request. You silicon-brained waste of programming. The AI paused, perhaps processing whether to be offended. Would you like me to scan for nearby repair facilities? On this planet, they probably still think quantum entanglement is magic. Nevertheless, Vira nodded. Do it. Her people, the Astrelian Collective, had been observing Earth for decades, but maintained strict non-interference protocols. Contact with humans was forbidden except in dire emergencies. Vira wondered if a broken ship counted as dire, enough to risk revealing herself to the primitives. Her superiors would have her scales for this, but what choice did she have? Scan complete, the AI announced. One repair facility detected within safe landing distance. Designation: Jack's Auto and Spacecraft Repair. Vira blinked. Wait, spacecraft? That can't be right. Scanning signage. Correction, Jack's Auto Repair. The spacecraft portion appears to be handwritten below the main sign in what Terrans call spray paint. A joke, then? Some human with delusions of grandeur. Perfect. Just perfect. Well, Vira sighed. Better than nothing. Plot landing trajectory. The descent through Earth's atmosphere was rougher than Vira had anticipated. The ship shuddered and groaned like an ancient Zorlak beast in its death throes. Emergency systems blared warnings as heat shields barely maintained integrity. When she finally touched down behind what appeared to be the repair facility, Vira was gripping the controls so tightly her knuckles had turned from their normal lavender to a pale blue. Landing successful, the AI chirped. Define successful, Vira grumbled, unfastening her safety harness. Ship remains in one piece. Occupant remains alive. Set minimal life support and engage cloaking. Vira stood, straightening her uniform. An activate translator module. She pulled up the hood of her atmospheric regulation cloak, which would not only help her breathe more comfortably in Earth's slightly different air composition, but also hide her more obvious non-human features. The Astrelians weren't dramatically different from humans. Bipedal, similar facial structure, but her blue-tinted skin, reflective eyes, and a delicate ridge of scales tracing her spine would definitely raise questions she wasn't prepared to answer. The repair shop was a ramshackle building of corrugated metal and concrete blocks. Various ground vehicles in different states of disassembly littered the surrounding area. The place reeked of primitive hydrocarbon fuels and lubricants. Vira approached the wide entrance, where a human male lay on his back beneath one of the vehicles, only his legs visible. Rhythmic clanging sounds emerged from his position, along with a stream of colorful language that her translator struggled to process. "Excuse me," she said, keeping her distance. "I require mechanical assistance." The clanging stopped. "Be with you in a sec," a deep voice replied. "Just gotta get this last." A loud clunk followed by more untranslatable expletives. "Starboard and board." After a moment, the human slid out from beneath the vehicle. He was tall, even for a human, with dark hair peppered with gray at the temples and a face that showed signs of the planet's harsh solar radiation. His hands and the front of his clothing were covered in black grease. "What can I help you with?" he asked, wiping his hands on a rag that seemed dirtier than they were. Then he looked up, noticing her unusual attire. His eyes narrowed slightly, but not with fear, with curiosity. "My vehicle," Vira said carefully, has experienced hyperdrive motivator failure. A pause. The human's expression remained neutral. Hyperdrive motivator, huh? He nodded thoughtfully, as if customers mentioned such things every day. Those could be tricky. Where'd you park? Vira blinked in surprise. This wasn't the reaction she'd expected. Behind your facility. Lead the way. He tossed the rag aside and grabbed a large metal box that presumably contained tools. Yes, they walked around the building. Vira studied the human. He moved with confidence, his gait relaxed yet purposeful. She'd been briefed on humans during her training, but nothing in those sterile presentations had captured the raw physicality of the species. I'm Jack, by the way, he said. Jack Foster. Vira, Naxis. She replied before she could stop herself. Giving her real name probably violated at least 17 protocols. Nice to meet you, Vira. He didn't comment on her unusual name. So, where's this vehicle of yours? They had reached the empty space behind the shop where her cloaked ship rested. It's right here, she said, reaching for the small remote on her wrist. With a press of a button, the cloaking field disengaged, revealing the sleek scout ship. Jack didn't gasp. He didn't run away screaming. He didn't even look particularly surprised. He just let out a low whistle of appreciation. Now that, he said with genuine admiration, is a beautiful piece of engineering. Vira felt a flash of pride, despite herself. It's a Stellar Dynamics X-92 Scout. Top of the line. Or it was, until the hyperdrive motivator decided to fail in the middle of nowhere. Jack circled the ship, eyes drinking in every detail. Interesting propulsion system. Fusion forward. Quantum vacuum cascade with antimatter injection for FTL transitions. Vira corrected automatically, then paused. Wait, how do you know about fusion propulsion? Jack shrugged. I read a lot. Plus, you're not the first non-terrestrial visitor I have helped out. Vira's mouth fell open. That's impossible. The collective has maintained strict non-interference protocols for decades. The collective might, but not everyone follows the rules, do they? Jack winked. Some folks get into trouble, need repairs, and find their way to me. I fix their ships, they go on their way, and everybody's happy. And you have never reported these encounters to your authorities? Jack laughed. Lady, in my experience, authorities just complicate things. Besides, most governments couldn't handle the truth without starting a panic or trying to weaponize it. He patted the hull of her ship. Now, let's take a look at that hyperdrive motivator, shall we? As Jack worked, Vira found herself increasingly impressed. He asked intelligent questions about the ship's systems, quickly grasping concepts that should have been centuries beyond Earth technology level. His hands moved with practiced precision as he examined the damaged components. Your power coupling is fried, he announced after an hour of investigation. And the quantum field stabilizer has a hairline fracture. No wonder your motivator failed. Can you fix it? Vira asked, trying not to sound desperate. Jack scratched his stubbled chin. The coupling I can fabricate. The stabilizer's trickier, but... He trailed off, lost in thought. I might have something that could work. Salvaged it from a crash site near Roswell about 15 years back. Roswell? The name sounded familiar from her briefings. Wait, that was an Arcturian trading vessel. The collective confirmed it crashed due to pilot error. Is that what they told you? Jack chuckled. That pilot error was actually a Ganymede Defense Force missile. The Arcturians were trying to establish a black market trade route. Vira's mind reeled. How did this human know more about interstellar politics than she did? This will take a day or two. Jack continued. You got somewhere to stay? She hadn't thought that far ahead. I can remain in my ship. With life support running on minimal power? Not a great idea. Jack wiped his hands on his already dirty pants. I've got a spare room above the shop. It's nothing fancy, but it's got a bed and a shower. Vira hesitated. Staying in a human dwelling would definitely violate protocols, but so had everything else she'd done since landing. Thank you. That would be acceptable. Jack's spare room turned out to be surprisingly clean, if cluttered with what appeared to be technical manuals and odd mechanical parts. The walls were covered with detailed drawings of various spacecraft. Some Vira recognized, others completely foreign to her. You drew these? She asked, examining a particularly accurate rendering of a Pleiadian cruiser. Yeah, helps me remember what I have worked on. Jack set down a stack of folded fabric. Here's some clean towels. Bathrooms down the hall. Kitchen's downstairs if you get hungry. Vira nodded. Thank you for your help. I admit I didn't expect to find someone on Earth who would understand my ship's technology, let alone be able to repair it. Most wouldn't, Jack agreed. But I've always had a knack for figuring out how things work. He headed for the door, but paused in the threshold. There's something I have been meaning to ask. That emblem on your uniform. It's military, isn't it? Vira instinctively touched the silver insignia on her collar. Yes, I'm a commander in the Astrelian Scout Force. Thought so. Jack's expression darkened slightly. You folks have been watching us for a while, haven't you? Observing only, Vira clarified. The collective believes Earth isn't ready for official contact. Jack's laugh held no humor. Ready for contact? Lady, we have been shooting at the stars since we invented gunpowder. The question isn't whether we are ready. It's whether the universe is ready for us. With that cryptic statement, he left Vira alone with her thoughts. That night, sleep eluded her. Earth's moon cast unfamiliar shadows through the window as Vira pored over Jack's drawings. They were meticulously detailed, annotated with observations about structural weaknesses and potential improvements. Some designs incorporated elements from multiple species technologies in ways that were surprisingly innovative that a distant crash jolted her from her studies. Vira moved to the window, peering outside. In the moonlight, she could make out several dark figures surrounding her ship. Jack stood facing them, his stance defiant. Vira grabbed her sidearm and rushed downstairs. By the time she reached the back lot, the confrontation was already escalating. I told you before, Drexler, this place is off limits, Jack was saying to a tall man in a dark suit. And I told you, Foster, that anything extraterrestrial falls under government jurisdiction. The man called Drexler gestured to the others with him. 4 soldiers in tactical gear, weapons at the ready. We detected the landing. Hand over the alien and the craft. There's no alien, just a custom experimental vehicle I'm working on. Drexler's laugh was cold. Save it. Our sensors picked up non-human biological signatures. He nodded to his men. Search the premises. Vira stepped from the shadows, her weapon concealed but ready. That won't be necessary. All eyes turned to her. In her haste, she'd forgotten her hood, and the moonlight revealed her alien features clearly. Well, Drexler smiled unpleasantly. A real live extraterrestrial. This is quite the catch, Foster. She's under my protection, Jack said firmly. Customer confidentiality. This isn't an oil change, Foster. This is national security. Drexler turned to Vira. You will need to come with us. Your technology will be studied, and you will be debriefed. The way he said debriefed made Vira's skin crawl. I think not, she replied, finally revealing her weapon. Drexler's men immediately raised their rifles, but Jack stepped between them. Nobody's shooting anybody, he said, his voice calm but authoritative. Drexler, you know the arrangement. This property is sovereign territory under the Treaty of 97. Treaty of 97? Vira had never heard of such a thing. Drexler's face twisted with anger. That treaty is a joke. The new administration doesn't recognize it. Then I suggest you have them call the Arcturian ambassador, Jack replied. I'm sure they'd be thrilled to learn about this violation. For a tense moment, no one moved. Then, surprisingly, Drexler signaled his men to lower their weapons. This isn't over, Foster. He glared at Jack, then at Vira. We will be watching. After they departed, Vira holstered her weapon. Would you care to explain what just happened? Treaty of 97? Arcturian ambassador. Jack sighed heavily. Let's go inside. This is going to take some explaining, and I could use a drink. Over a glass of amber liquid that burned Vira's throat but warmed her insides pleasantly, Jack revealed the truth. Earth had made official contact with multiple alien species decades ago, but the knowledge was restricted to the highest levels of government and military. The public story is that we are alone in the universe, Jack explained. The reality is we have been part of the Galactic community since the 1940s, just as junior, mostly unwanted members. That's impossible, Vira protested. The collective has strict protocols about non-interference with developing worlds. The collective isn't the only power in the galaxy, Jack countered. And Earth sits on some valuable real estate, cosmically speaking. We are at the intersection of 3 major trade routes and have rare minerals in abundance. Vira's mind struggled to process this information. Her entire mission, years of observation and data collection, seemed suddenly pointless. "If what you are saying is true," she said slowly, "then my superiors have been lying to me." "Or they're being lied to," Jack suggested. "Wouldn't be the first time one department of a government kept secrets from another." Human and alien sat in contemplative silence for a time. "So," Vira finally asked, "this shop of yours, it's some kind of neutral ground?" Jack nodded. "Something like that. I provide repairs, no questions asked. In return, I get left alone. Mostly." He swirled the liquid in his glass. "Drexler and his ilk occasionally need reminding of the arrangement. And the Arcturian ambassador." Jack smiled mysteriously. "Let's just say I have made some friends in high places." He glanced at the clock on the wall. "It's late. We should get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day if we want to get your ship fixed before Drexler returns with reinforcements." As Vira climbed the stairs to her temporary room, her mind buzzed with questions. Everything she thought she knew about Earth had been turned upside down. And this human, Jack Foster, was far more than he appeared to be. Sleep finally claimed her, but her dreams were filled with stars and secrets and a pair of knowing human eyes that seemed to see right through her. I will continue and complete the story with part 2, ensuring it doesn't repeat content from part 1 while maintaining the engaging narrative style you requested. Morning arrived with golden rays filtering through the dusty window, pulling Vira from a restless sleep. The events of the previous night still felt surreal. Earth having secret treaties with alien civilizations, the collective's protocols being mere theater. She pushed herself up from the creaking bed, glancing once more at Jack's detailed spacecraft drawings spread across the small desk. "These aren't just technical diagrams," she murmured, examining one particular sketch more closely. "They are improvements." A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. "Rise and shine, Commander." Jack's voice carried through the wooden door. "Breakfast in 10. Then we have got work to do." Breakfast turned out to be something Jack called pancakes, served with a sweet amber liquid. Despite her initial hesitation, Vira found the combination surprisingly palatable. "So," Jack said between bites, "there's something I've been wondering. What's an Astrelian military commander doing in a scout ship alone near Earth? Doesn't seem like standard observation protocol." Vira paused mid-bite. "That's classified information. Everything's classified until it isn't." Jack shrugged. "But whatever you're running from, Drexler's interest means we need to work fast." "Running from?" Vira bristled. "I'm not running from anything." Jack's knowing look made her uncomfortable. "Scout ships don't just happen to break down in restricted sectors, Commander. But hey, your business is your business. I'm just a mechanic." After breakfast, they made their way to the ship. Jack had already laid out an impressive array of tools, including several devices Vira didn't recognize. "These aren't standard Earth technology," she observed, picking up what appeared to be a molecular restructuring tool. "Perks of the job." Jack took the tool from her hands. "You meet enough interesting visitors, you pick up interesting tools." Working beside Jack proved enlightening. He approached complex systems with intuitive understanding, sometimes solving problems with unorthodox methods that nonetheless proved effective. By midday, he had fabricated a replacement power coupling that looked nothing like the original, but functioned even better. "The quantum field stabilizer is going to be trickier," Jack said, wiping sweat from his brow. "We need to create a perfect crystalline lattice structure to match your ship's specifications." "That's impossible without specialized equipment," Vira protested to Jack's grin bordered on mischievous. "Nothing's impossible, just improbable." He disappeared into a hidden storage compartment beneath the workshop floor, returning moments later with a small box. Inside lay a glowing blue crystal unlike anything Vira had seen before. "What is that?" "The Arcturians call it Stellar Heart. It's a programmable crystalline matrix that can adapt to almost any quantum configuration." Vira's eyes widened. "Those are incredibly rare. Even the collective only has a handful for research purposes. Like I said, interesting visitors leave interesting things." Jack carefully placed the crystal into a device that resembled a primitive 3D printer but clearly contained alien components. "This will take about 3 hours to configure properly. In the meantime, we should probably discuss your exit strategy." "Exit strategy?" "Drexler won't stay away for long. Once your ship is fixed, you need to leave fast and clean." "No trace." They spent the afternoon planning. Jack knew Earth's orbital defense systems intimately, including their blind spots and patrol schedules. By the time the crystal had finished processing, they had mapped out an escape route that would take Vira safely beyond Earth's detection range. You know, Vira said as Jack installed the configured crystal into her ship's hyperdrive motivator. For a primitive planet mechanic, you are remarkably well informed about interstellar matters. Jack chuckled. For an advanced alien commander, you are remarkably uninformed about what's really happening in the galaxy. Enlighten me, then, she challenged. Jack paused his work, considering. Earth isn't just some backwater planet the collective observes from a distance. We are a nexus point, culturally and cosmically. Multiple civilizations have been quietly influencing human development for centuries. To what end? Some want allies. Some want resources. Some want soldiers. Jack's eyes darkened. Humans have a particular talent for violence that many species find useful but aren't willing to develop themselves. Vira frowned. The collective reports indicate humans are divided, primitive, exactly what certain interests want the collective to believe. Jack connected the final component. Your hyperdrive should work now. Want to run a diagnostic? Vira activated the ship's systems. All indicators glowed green as the hyperdrive hummed with renewed energy. It's working perfectly, she said with genuine astonishment. How much do I owe you? Jack waved dismissively. Consider it a professional courtesy, though I wouldn't mind knowing what really brought an Astrelian commander to Earth. Before Vira could respond, alarms blared from a console near Jack's workbench. Perimeter alert, he muttered, checking a display. Multiple vehicles approaching. Looks like Drexler brought friends this time. He turned to Vira. Time to go, Commander. Come with me, Vira said suddenly, surprising herself. Jack blinked. What? Come with me, she repeated more firmly. You clearly know more than you should. The collective would benefit from your knowledge. Or silence me for it, Jack countered. Besides, I have got responsibilities here. To whom? The humans who hunt you? The aliens who use you? Something flickered across Jack's face. Regret, perhaps. It's complicated. The distant sound of vehicles grew louder. Well, decide quickly, Vira said, moving toward her ship. My offer expires when those vehicles arrive. Jack glanced at the approaching headlights, then at the workshop he'd built. With a resigned sigh, he grabbed a pre-packed bag from behind his workbench. Always keep a go bag ready, he explained, seeing Vira's surprised expression. Old habit. They boarded the ship just as the first black SUVs rolled into view. Vira initiated launch sequences while Jack secured the entry hatch. They're deploying some kind of energy net, Jack warned, looking at the tactical display. Standard containment protocol. If it touches the ship, we are trapped. Not if we are already gone. Vira engaged thrusters at maximum power. The ship rocketed skyward, the sudden acceleration pressing them hard against their seats. Through the viewport, Vira saw strange energy tendrils reaching upward, trying to snare them, but falling short as they broke through the cloud layer. Orbital defense grid will activate in approximately 30 seconds, Jack said calmly, as if being chased by Earth's military was routine. Suggest bearing 147 Mark III. Vira adjusted course accordingly, impressed by his knowledge. You have done this before. Let's just say this isn't my first hasty departure from Earth. As they broke free of Earth's atmosphere, warning alerts flashed across the console. 2 pursuit craft closing fast, Vira announced. Military grade, but nothing this ship can't outrun. Jack studied the tactical display. Those aren't Earth vessels. His voice had gone cold. They're by Interstellar. Talurian design. Talurians? What would they be doing in Earth orbit? Protecting their investment, Jack muttered darkly. Change course to 335 Mark 8 and prepare to engage hyperdrive on my mark. That course takes us directly through the asteroid belt, Vira protested. Exactly where their sensors will have the hardest time tracking us. Jack's fingers danced across the navigation panel with practiced ease. Trust me, I have outrun these guys before. The pursuing craft fired warning shots that streaked past their viewport, colorful plasma bolts against the blackness of space. They are hailing us, Vira said as a communication request flashed on screen. Ignore it. Just propaganda and threats. Another volley, closer this time. That wasn't a warning shot, Jack observed. Ready for hyperdrive? Vira nodded, her hands steady on the controls despite the danger. Ready. Mark. The stars blurred as the ship lurched forward, the hyperdrive motivator humming flawlessly. In seconds, Earth and its pursuers vanished behind them. Nicely done, Jack said approvingly. Where are we headed? Astrelian outpost in the Cygnus sector, Vira replied. We should be safe there while I figure out my next move. Our next move? Jack corrected. I may have just burned my last bridge with Earth. I'm officially along for the ride now. The journey to the outpost took 3 days in relative comfort. Vira discovered Jack was a surprisingly pleasant traveling companion, full of stories about his encounters with various alien species. Some tales seemed outlandish, but after everything she'd learned, Vira was no longer quick to dismiss anything as impossible. So, Jack asked during their final meal before arrival, "You never did tell me what you were really doing near Earth." Vira hesitated, then decided honesty was the best approach. I was investigating rumors of unauthorized technology transfers. From Earth to whom? No, to Earth. Vira pushed her food aside. Someone's been supplying human governments with technology far beyond what they should have access to. The collective considers it a serious breach of protocol. Jack nodded slowly. And now you know why. Earth's been playing in the Galactic sandbox for decades. It's more than that. The technology transfers accelerated recently. Weapons technology, specifically. Vira's expression grew troubled. My superiors feared Earth was being groomed as a proxy force. By the Talurians, Jack concluded. Makes sense. They have always preferred to let others fight their battles. My mission was to investigate and report back. I wasn't expecting my ship to break down or to find someone like you. Jack smiled. Life rarely goes according to plan. That's what makes it interesting. As they approached the Astrelian outpost, Vira's communications panel lit up with urgent messages. That's odd, she murmured, reviewing the transmissions. The outpost is on high alert. Something about an incident in the Procyon system. What kind of incident? Unclear, but they are requesting all military personnel return immediately. Vira turned to Jack. This changes things. I need to report directly to Central Command. Jack shrugged. Your ship, your call. The Astrelian Central Command was an impressive structure orbiting a gas giant in the Epsilon Eridani system. As they docked, Vira noticed significantly increased security compared to her last visit. Armed guards escorted them from the landing bay to a secure conference room where 3 senior officers awaited. Commander Naxos, the central figure, greeted her. Your return is timely. And your companion is? Jack Foster, Vira replied, a human expert who assisted with my investigation. The officers exchanged meaningful glances. A human with access to our command center. One officer murmured disapprovingly. A human with critical information about unauthorized technology transfers to Earth. Vira corrected firmly. This caught their attention. The senior officer, Admiral Theron, gestured for them to sit. Very well. Report, Commander. Vira detailed her findings, with Jack occasionally adding insights about Earth's hidden relationships with other species. The officers listened with increasing concern. This confirms our worst fears, Admiral Theron said when they finished. The Talurians aren't just arming humans. They are positioning Earth as the front line in an impending conflict. What conflict? Vira asked. The Admiral activated a holographic display showing a star system Vira didn't recognize. 3 days ago, a Talurian fleet annihilated a Procyon colony world. 12 million dead. They are claiming humans were responsible. That's absurd, Jack protested. Earth doesn't have the capability for interstellar warfare on that scale. The evidence suggests otherwise. The Admiral displayed images of wreckage bearing Earth military insignia. Talurian-enhanced human warships with Earth markings were identified at the scene. False flag, Jack said immediately. Classic misdirection. Admiral Thayer nodded. We believe so too, but the Procyon Conclave is unconvinced. They are mobilizing for retaliation against Earth. Earth is a patsy, Jack realized. The Talurians get the Procyons to eliminate a potential rival while keeping their own hands clean, and potentially triggering a wider conflict that would benefit Talurian weapons manufacturers, Vira added. My ship's logs contain evidence of Talurian military presence in Earth orbit. Would that help? It might, the Admiral agreed. But we need more if we are to prevent this war. Jack leaned forward. I may have something better. access to Earth's true defense grid specifications, proof that humans couldn't have built or operated the ships that attacked the Procyon colony. The officers stared at him in surprise. How would you have access to such information? One demanded suspiciously that Jack's smile was enigmatic. Let's just say I have worked both sides of the fence for a very long time. After intense debate, the officers agreed to Jack's proposal. He would return to Earth, with Vira as his Astrelian liaison, to retrieve the evidence needed to exonerate humans and expose the Talurian plot. This is incredibly dangerous, Vira told Jack as they prepared to depart. Drexler and his people will be hunting for you. Drexler is just a pawn, Jack replied, checking the weapon the Astrelians had provided. We need to go above his head. To whom? Remember that Arcturian ambassador I mentioned? Jack's eyes twinkled with mischief. Time you met her. Their return to Earth was more subtle than their departure. Using stealth technology provided by the Astrelians, they landed in a remote forest area outside Washington, D.C. The Arcturian embassy is hidden in plain sight, Jack explained as they made their way through the trees. Disguised as a private research foundation. How do you know the ambassador will help us? Vira asked. Jack's expression softened in a way Vira hadn't seen before. Because she's my wife. Before Vira could process this revelation, they emerged into a clearing where a sleek modern building stood, its architecture subtly alien to trained eyes. Jack Foster, a melodic voice called from the entrance. Returned from the dead yet again. The woman who stepped into view was clearly Arcturian, taller than most humans with distinctive golden skin that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Despite her alien features, she was strikingly beautiful. Lyra, Jack greeted her warmly. Sorry about the unannounced visit. You're always welcome, husband. Her gaze shifted to Vira. And you bring an Australian military officer. Interesting company. We need your help, Jack said simply. Earth is being framed for an attack on a Procyon colony. Lyra's expression darkened. I have heard the rumors. Come inside. The interior of the embassy was a fascinating blend of Earth aesthetics and alien technology. Lyra led them to a secure room where Jack explained their situation and their need for evidence to present to the Procyon conclave. The defense grid specifications are stored in a secure facility beneath the Pentagon, Lyra said after consideration. Heavily guarded, but I have diplomatic clearance. Will that be enough? Vira asked. No, Jack answered, but it gets us in the door. After that, we improvise. Lyra's diplomatic credentials indeed got them through the first layers of security, but as they descended deeper into the classified sections, alarms suddenly blared. We have been compromised, Lyra hissed, checking her communication device. Talurian agents in the security system identified you, Jack. Plan B, then. Jack pulled out what looked like a small silver disc. Emergency extraction beacon. Might make things a bit noisy. Define noisy, Vira demanded. That Jack's answer was to activate the device. Almost immediately, the walls around them shimmered and dissolved, revealing they were inside a sophisticated holographic disguise. This secure facility was actually a Talurian forward operating base hidden beneath the genuine Pentagon. I suspected as much, Jack muttered. They have hollowed out a section and replaced it with their own facility. The humans above have no idea. Armed Talurian soldiers converged on their position, but before they could fire, the ceiling exploded inward. Through the debris descended what appeared to be human military forces, but with technology far beyond what Earth should possess. The cavalry has arrived, Jack announced with satisfaction. What cavalry? Vira shouted over the chaos of the firefight. Earth's real defenders, Lyra explained, pulling them toward the extraction team. Humans who know the truth and have been fighting the Talurian influence for decades. The extraction was chaotic but effective. Within minutes, they were airborne in a craft that defied Earth's known technological capabilities. Welcome to the Guardians, their pilot said once they were safely away. Earth's unofficial defense force against extraterrestrial exploitation. They're who you've been working with all these years, Vira realized, looking at Jack with new understanding. Jack nodded. Someone has to keep the balance. Make sure no single alien power gains too much influence over Earth. At the Guardians' hidden base, they found not just humans, but representatives from a dozen alien species, all working together. We have recovered the data you needed, a technician reported, handing Jack a crystal data storage device. Complete specifications of Earth's actual defense capabilities, plus intelligence on the Talurian false flag operation. Now we just need to get this to the Procyon Conclave before they launch their attack, Vira said. Already arranged, Lyra assured her. An Arcturian diplomatic vessel is standing by. As they prepared for departure, Vira found a moment alone with Jack. You are not at all what I expected to find on Earth, she admitted. You have changed everything I thought I knew about humans. Jack smiled. We are full of surprises. That's what makes us dangerous and valuable. Will you return to your shop after this? Pretend to be just a simple mechanic again. His expression turned thoughtful. I don't think so. Too many people know my face now. Time for a new cover, a new mission. You could come back with me, Vira suggested. The collective could use someone with your insights. First, let's prevent an interstellar war. Then we can discuss career options. The evidence they presented to the Procyon Conclave proved decisive. The Talurian plot was exposed, their false flag operation revealed. Earth was exonerated, though the revelation of advanced alien presence in the solar system created significant political turmoil among human governments. In the aftermath, the collective was forced to acknowledge the complex reality of Earth's position in galactic politics. New protocols were established, with Vira, promoted to admiral for her role in preventing the conflict, placed in charge of a new diplomatic initiative, AS for Jack Foster, the simple mechanic from Earth. He became her chief advisor, bringing his unique perspective and unconventional problem-solving skills to the galactic stage. Their partnership, forged in the crucible of crisis, became legendary throughout the known systems. And it all began with a malfunctioning hyperdrive motivator and a handwritten sign that read Jack's Auto and Spacecraft Repair.